So you want to be the flavor of the month melee and make all them blood elves say, "Oh shit, look at that damage"? You came to the right place. With Quicks, you will learn all you need to get started with the RNG Supreme Enhancement Shaman. Enhancement Shaman doesn't have a straightforward goal like other DPS specs. You'll have 4 goals to keep in mind though. Firstly, keep your weapons imbued with both Wind Fury weapon and Flame Tongue weapon at all times. Second, keep your main abilities on cooldown and smash all those flashy buttons. Storm Strike that is, Lava Lash, Frost Shock and Crash Lightning. Thirdly, keep that Flame Shock buff up on as close to 6 targets as possible. Lava Lash will help you with that. And lastly, use the Maelstrom weapon procs on Lightning Bolt in single target and Chain Lightning when there are 2 or more enemies. As an Enhancement Shaman, your Mastery Enhanced Elements is also fueled by one of your best secondary stats, Mastery that is. It will increase your chance to trigger Wind Fury weapons and Stormbringer by a small amount, so yay for RNG, plus it will increase the damage of all of your Fire, Frost and Nature spells. We mentioned Maelstrom weapon before. This one is a stacking buff that can proc off of all of your melee attacks. These stacks can get up to 10 and each stack will reduce the cast time and increase the damage or healing of your next damaging or healing spells respectively. You can only use up to 5 stacks at once and it will put the buffed spell higher on the priority list when you are close to capping on the Maelstrom weapon stacks. The other passive, Stormbringer, will give all of your special attacks a chance to reset Storm Strike and give it some extra damage. Again, a flashy Storm Strike will be a more important button to press so you can consume the effect quick and work towards the next one. Your defensive passive, Reincarnation, will let you revive if you die during a fight without consuming a combat res on a 30-minute cooldown. One of your most important cooldowns, Wind Fury Totem, is your Spec identity. You'll want this down at all times, since you will also buff your melee friends. This special totem will make everyone in your party have a chance, when attacking with their main hand weapon, to trigger 1 extra attack. Although the totem has no cooldown, just in case you move and need to drop it again, you will consider it as a cooldown, as in static fights you can just drop it and forget about it for 2 minutes. Talking about 2-minute cooldowns, Feral Spirits will have it as well. It will summon 2 Spirit Wolves to fight for you for 15 seconds, generating 1 stack of Maelstrom weapon when you summon them and 1 extra stack every 3 seconds. This cooldown will be very powerful and will synergize very well with your tier set. In the defensive department, you will have Astral Shift every 1.5 minutes to reduce your damage taken by a flat 40% for 12 seconds. You can consider Earth Elemental a defensive cooldown as well. It is a 5-minute one, so a pretty long one, but it will summon an Earth Elemental to taunt every mob around you for 1 minute. And with the right conduit, it can increase your health by a decent amount for its duration. Lastly, Lightning Shield is somewhat of a defensive option, as it will damage melee attackers with a 50% chance to give you a stack of Maelstrom weapon, so you can get faster to that instant healing surge. You'll have a lot of flexibility when it comes to choosing legendaries that can alter your damage profile. You are very powerful in sustained fights thanks to Flame Shock plus Lava Lash. You also have nice AoE because of Hellstorm, Fire Nova and Sundering. Melee heavy comps will always want you for your Wind Fury Totem in both Raids and Mythic Plus, as well as your Bloodlust, which will be a good addition to groups that lack it. You're a very mobile class to boot, with the possibility of swapping instantly into Ghost Wolf to increase your movement speed and to not have your movement speed reduced under 100% from slows. Spirit Walk will be your personal enhanced sprint with a 1-minute cooldown, and it will remove all movement impairing effects. And if that isn't enough, you can always get the Feral Lunge talent for an extra charge, or Wind Rush Totem for extra movement speed for all of your teammates. Your utility is good. You'll have a lot of choices, from more stuns with a Capacitor Totem, Knockdown with Sundering, slows from Frost Shock and Earthbind Totem, to lastly Earth Elemental again, which will taunt everything around you, taking some pressure off of your group. And let's not forget Hex for humanoids and beasts, with the creme de la creme, the anti-fear totem, the Tremor Totem. You do have some weaknesses as well. The talents you choose can sometimes lock you into a type of damage profile. Your burst build is usually not the best to take anymore, falling behind the other ones by quite a lot. You are a very reliant spec on RNG that can be your downfall a lot of the times. You're also very dependent on uptime on targets, so having to move away will make you lose more than most other DPS classes. Your self-sustain is also a double-edged sword. Healing Stream Totem is usually not enough, and as such, you will need to sacrifice your damage by using Maelstrom weapon stacks on Healing Surges, which are actually pretty good if your mana lasts, that is. You can check the Enhancement Shaman 9.2 guide that we have already out for a better look at the builds you can use, but for a basic one you can go for the funnel/cleave build that is shown on the screen now, and you can swap to Elemental Assault for more single target damage. We hope you like our quick enhancement guide, and it helps you get a better understanding of how it works and what you can do with the spec. If you want to know more about the spec, just check out our full guide on the channel.